Where has the pride in the Bulldogs jersey gone? How can we allow a team to score 108 points against us in a matter of 6 weeks? Where is this defensive coaching ability that Cameron Ciraldo apparently brought with him from the Panthers? I, as a Bulldogs fan, am not only disappointed in the results, but I'm appalled at the lack of respect that the players are giving to the jersey. In years gone by, our forwards were the talk of the town. In our 2004 Grand Final forward pack was one of the best in NRL history. You can name so many superstar forwards, and right now our forwards are barely making 100 meters a game. The Bulldogs have been in rebuild mode for almost 7 years. 4 coaches, 60 plus players, many boards have come and gone, and we still have not achieved anything. As a fan, I don't know what success feels like at the Bulldogs anymore. I don't know what it feels like to look forward to finals footy. And I'd like to welcome Dibbo, just to keep me honest, my co-host. He's not a Bulldog supporter, but he can let me know if I'm being harsh. Welcome, Dibbo. Am I being harsh towards the team?
I just want to start off with, can we have a minute's silence for the Bulldogs defence? That's been long missing. Rest in peace.
I think it died 3 months ago, to be honest.
It's been dead for a while. But look, can I just point out something on the defence? And I know you brought up the 2004 Bulldogs side. One game that comes to memory to me was 2006. Canterbury. Do yourselves a favour. I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube. Watch Canterbury 2006 versus St George at Cogra Oval. Watch that forward pack's the whole basis of the 2004 side, minus obviously Steve Price. But watch how they brutalised a champion St George forward pack that included test front rowers and test back rowers in Luke Bailey, Jason Riles, Ben Cray, Bo Scott, just to name a few. They absolutely brutalised the St George forward pack that day. And Canterbury did get the win that day, but just watch what the Dogs of War could produce, or what they should be producing today. So, and to keep you honest, that was dreadful on the weekend. I think you guys finally fielded the full-strength side. I don't think maybe they should have fielded Luke Thompson. I know he's had a great opening set, but there was no communication between Luke Thompson and his inside man for those first few tries. I know Tomo will improve immensely, but, if you got your full-strength side, I honestly didn't expect Newcastle to do it with ease like that. I expected if they're going to score that much, it had to be a lot of flair, but there was just no brutality, no communication. There's no talk. They're first graders.
There's no pride in the jersey.
I know he's playing away from home, but I think it's your strongest lineup you fielded the whole year. Probably minus Raymond Fatala-Mariner, was it?
Yeah, he wasn't playing. But even then, Raymond Fatala-Mariner had made
much of a difference.
He had a half early in the year where he made 0 meters as a prop.
Yeah.
And look, we were told, we're told throughout the whole year the team is inexperienced, we have injuries, but when we finally get a full strength team on the park, what happens? We get absolutely decimated. We've got no communication in defense. Our players are not backing up and playing for each other. They score some of the easiest tries I've ever seen. Just to put it into perspective, they scored 42 points against us. Jackson Hastings was injured in the 24th minute, right? Caleb Ponga, even though Jackson Hastings was injured in the 24th minute, only had 1 try assist.
The most disappointing part was, and it's a basic of anyone's game, is communication. Those first few tries they scored with such ease was, I think I just sat there in silence, just like, no communication.
Is this for real? Is this real?
Yeah, that's a cardinal sin. You're a first grader. How can you not talk? But, regardless, I don't think, and just to, Tomo, I don't think Tomo needed to even really communicate with his inside man. He should have known to cover that gap. Obviously talk happens. They both should be talking, but where's the inside man? That was just ridiculous.
It's unacceptable. I think that there have to be repercussions from this. I don't know what they are. I'm not saying Ciraldo needs to go, but as fans, we need to see that there will be improvements. Gus Goulden came out and said there's no timeline for improvements. I'm sorry. We're not going to sit here for another 5 years copping spoons and copping these ridiculous losses against teams that really aren't that much better than us on paper. There is no excuse for what happened. As fans, it's not just me. It's all over social media. It's all over everywhere. The kennel.net.au. It's ridiculous. This is pathetic. I'm sorry. I've held back, blowing my top over the performances of the Bulldogs. We've given excuses for injuries. We've given excuses for inexperience. We've copped every single excuse to come our way. But I think enough is enough. And there's only 3 rounds left. So you would think there would be some pride in the jersey. You would think some of them are playing for their careers. But they've come out there and said,
Canterbury could have been the spoilers. They had probably, they're playing literally every side that's in with a chance for the 8 or thereabouts.
And they've just come up and
If
shit
anything,
themselves.
they've just rolled over for Newcastle and said, here, he's 4 competition points.
And 40, yeah.
He's plus 100 on your for and against. And they've skyrocketed into 7th or 6th on the back of just playing. I'm sure a few of those other NRL sides will probably be dirty at Canterbury there.
Well, I mean, who cares what the other NRL sides? The fans are dirty. We're dirty. This is not, like, as a Canterbury fan, this is bullshit. I'm not going to put up, I'm not going to accept it as a fan. This is rubbish.
Can I watch the next game with you?
Please. Because I'm going to blow my top again. Because honestly, like, after the first half, I was watching it with a fellow Doggies fan, and I was just thinking, why am I putting myself through this? This is pathetic. You would think, honestly, as under 10s, if they got thrashed by a team earlier in the year, even 10-year-olds would have the pride in their jersey to come back and say, we want to get one back on them. We want to come back and we don't want to lose this. We want to put our effort. There's none of that.
Great example.
Absolutely none of that. Like, am I being harsh? As a Bulldogs fan, I don't think I'm being harsh. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm being harsh towards my team. Because you know what? This is unacceptable. The Tigers are looking better and showing more fight than the Bulldogs. Not downplaying the Tigers, or no disrespect to the Tigers, but they're showing more fight than we are. We're supposed to be the ones that are recruiting. We've got Gus Gould, we've got Cameron Ciraldo, we've got this, we've got that. But we are showing zero. Like, if I was to grade our performance on the weekend, I would call that an E, or a complete failure. I wouldn't even give it a grading. That was absolutely pathetic. I think our New South Wales Cup side would have done a better job. Bring back Khaled Rajab and Carl Oloapu and Paul Alamoti. Bring them back. If this is the crap we're going to get from first graders, bring back the New South Wales Cup players. Because this is unacceptable. And also, Cameron Ciraldo should not escape criticism.
Oh, of course not, no.
And just before I get on criticizing Cameron Ciraldo, if you're new to the podcast, or if you have any opinions, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be going through this week after week and absolutely criticizing the team as it should be criticized, or praising them if they can pull their act together and pull their fingers out. But be sure to like and subscribe. But like, it's just, I can't, as a Bulldogs fan, really put my finger on how it has gone so horribly wrong. And I have to.
Honestly, I think there's no chemistry at all with some of those forwards. You really need to change more personnel. I mean,
but how many personnel are going to change? We've had 60 players turnover over the last 3 years, and let me tell you, I need to criticize Ciraldo, because what kind of first grade coach would say, "Hey, Thompson, you haven't played first grade in over 370 days. Go start at lock." Where in general, locks are making 30, 40 tackles a game, making 100, 150 meters a game. Here, Thompson, go start. Why would you not start him on the bench?
Oh, agreed.
And put Harrison Edwards at lock, who has started at lock before, who has done an admirable job there.
Just seems like he was off the pace completely. He needed another game of reserves. How many minutes has he played in reserves? 20? 30 maybe? Yeah, he needed another game of reserves. He's off the pace. It just seemed like I was just zipping past him.
Let me make this comment and you tell me if I'm being harsh. I feel like Cameron Ciraldo is a beta product, right? Coming to the Bulldogs to learn his trade, as opposed to a first grade coach that knows what he's doing.
Very hard. I know it's harsh. I'll say why it's harsh is there's a few factors here. His extensive injury toll, everyone knows that. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, they got he doesn't have before he even joined, they didn't even have a top 8 roster. What have they finished the last few years?
Okay, but then they
finished 11th last year?
They bought Reid Marnie for this year. Yeah. Right? They bought William Kikau. Granted, he was out for most of the year. Right? He has had every opportunity, right? The mistakes he made with Hayes Perham and Paul Alamoti, he kept them there week after week after week, despite getting destroyed, despite them offering nothing. He kept them there week after week after week, right? His rotation on the bench has been poor all year, has used Tevita Pangai Jr. played 27 minutes.
Look, I'm not going to deny, there is areas you have highlighted. Yeah, of course. Of the bench rotation, I'm sure they'll either own that or offer an explanation. Hayes Perham, I just feel like he was probably more of a winger. He had long time to obviously put Avarello at fullback. Avrila, mind you, was showing hot form in the centres, which is fair enough. Alamoti is a rookie. It's just a tough one. Like, he just feels sorry for the bloke because, I mean, go get Ivan Cleary and put him in that squad. Go, come on. What's going to happen there?
I guarantee you they don't perform as poorly and they'll show some pride for the jersey.
All right.
Because there's no pride shown for that jersey.
All right.
Sure,
I'm not going to disagree with you there, but I still don't think they even make the 8. I don't think they even come 10th.
I'm not asking them to make the 8. I'm not even asking them, okay? I'm not asking them to win any games. Right. I'm asking them to show pride. There was no pride shown.
Of course.
You get smashed by 66. You come back the next time you face them and you put 66 on them.
100%. They need players that want to play for
in 2004, in the beginning of the year, the Dogs lost to the Roosters by a big margin. I don't recall what it was, 40-4 or something like that. They didn't lose again to them that year, and they beat them in the grand final.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? There's pride shown. In years gone by, even when we had Dean Pay, there was pride shown. Last year with Mick Potter, there was pride shown. This year, it just seems like they're all ready for Mad Monday.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable as a Bulldogs fan, and let me know. Honestly, tell me, criticize me if I'm being harsh. But as a Bulldogs fan, like
look. There is. You make some valid points, but there's also. I mean, there's a number of factors. I feel inclined that I've got to just stick up for the players, basically.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, let's get into some of the statistics from the weekend, and you tell me if they should be defended. Yeah.
Oh no. Obviously, performance-wise, no. But there's obviously contributing factors to that. But yeah, go ahead.
45% possession, right?
All right, let's
45% possession.
Yep.
Right. Their completion rate was only 67%.
Oh, this is the weekend. Sorry.
This is against the Knights. No, this is against the Knights.
Yeah, obviously, going 45%.
Yeah, 45% and 67% completion. You do not win NRL games completing at 67%.
And they got to defend their asses off, which they couldn't.
They couldn't. We were literally. It was like just wet paper. They were just running straight through us.
Look, 67%. That's a write-off completely. So they're already turning over the ball, and their defense isn't crash hot. So they're shooting themselves in the foot. The 45% possession, well, again, that's with them handing out over the ball. And the defense, obviously defense has gone missing.
I can already hear people saying, "Oh, but we had 2 sin bins, we had this, we had that." Okay, I'm with you. We did have sin bins.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse.
That's not an excuse because we were shot right before those sin bins had come. And let me remind you, the Titans played against the Warriors for almost 55 minutes with only 12 players, and they pushed the Warriors right to the end of the game.
It just feels like they've got a bunch of players there that correlate well together, or the chemistry goes well together. They've got like Fafita, Famaswali.
He wasn't playing that game.
I'm just giving you in general, basically. Fafita, Farawaka. They got
injured. He wasn't playing.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an example overall. They got a squad that seems like.
But I'm trying to address the excuses that we always seem to have because we're we've got injuries or we got inexperience. They have a very inexperienced side. They have injuries as well.
Yep.
Right. Yet they're performing for each other. And they're playing, they're defending, they're playing for each other, they're showing some grit and some determination, and they've lost their coach mid-season too.
Yeah, but look, just on talent-wise, whether you agree or not, from my opinion, Gold Coast has got a more talented side than Canterbury's. This year. Next year, I don't know.
That's not an excuse, and I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that because if you look at the team we named, right, bro, the Jacob Kiraz, Braden Burns, Josh Adokar, they've been going great guns. All right. So has Jacob Avrila at fullback. We have Toby Sexton, who has played plenty of first grade games, and we've got Burden in the halves.
Yep.
Yeah. No excuses. Our forward pack: Max King, Reid Marnie, Tavita Pangai Jr., Viliami Kikau, Jacob Preston, Luke Thompson. Yep. You show that to any first grade team, and they'll tell you that's a formidable side. Maybe it's not going to get you to that 8, but at least against a team like the Knights, you should be able to put up good opposition.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying overall.
There are no more excuses. There are no more excuses. Like you have to be like I have to be clear because. Honestly, for 24 episodes, I've sat here and defended the Bulldogs, defended the coach, defended the plan, defended the process. But when you get smashed against the Knights, man, we made Tyson Gamble look like Darren Lockyer. Tyson Gamble was made to look like Darren Lockyer.
Can I point it? Can I ask you something? Don't you hate his head?
It doesn't matter about his head, bro. We made him look like Darren Lockyer. This guy is not that. Like, no disrespect to him, he's playing really well, but we made him look like he was the best.
He's a very able player, but Darren Lockyer, he ain't.
Darren Lockyer, he ain't, but we made him look like he was Cameron Munster or Darren Lockyer or something. It was ridiculous. It was just unacceptable to see us, like, the way he was standing over Marnie when he scored that try, like, look at me, but get out of my face. Against a real team, you're gonna get walloped. But against the Bulldogs, we're rubbish. We've been rubbish. And, you know, Gus Gould comes out and he says, oh, this is the worst position we could be in. There are no timelines. I'm sorry. Are you running a business or not? Where are the KPIs? What are the SLAs like? That's unacceptable. You can't just say, hey, fans, stick around. You're going to be losing fans. You're going to be losing a lot of people that, you know, put their time, effort, money into the club. It's unacceptable. You know, another concerning statistic, right? And this has been a problem for the Bulldogs since day dot this year, right? We had 40 less runs and 440 meters less than the Knights. There is no way our halves can do anything when our forwards aren't getting a roll on. And you know what? That's not even the worst part. It was 7 line breaks to 1. 7 line breaks. What are we supposed to do? Honestly, what is anyone supposed to do? Like 7 line breaks to 1. It's pathetic. And then to you know, the cream on top. You want to hear the cream on top? We missed 55 tackles.
Yeah.
They missed 26. We missed 55 tackles, and this has been a problem for the Dogs the whole season. Heaps of missed tackles. We are the team with the most missed tackles in the league.
Jeez.
We have 860 missed tackles, right? To the number 2, who are the Cowboys, only have 790 missed tackles. So we are missing tackles by a massive lead compared to every other team. Are you not a defensive coach, Cameron Ciraldo? What is happening at training? Does there need to be a review of the systems, the processes? And you know, like I am going on a bit of a rant, but hear me out. Cameron Ciraldo comes out in the press conference after you get smashed by 42-6, and he says, "Now we know what it feels like to train like at an elite level. We train the best we've trained all year." What are you talking about? What have you been doing for 24 weeks? If you only found the elite training now, what have you been doing for 23, 24 weeks before that?
Yeah.
Tell me, am I being harsh? Am I being unreasonable?
I'm just surprised he said that in a press conference. I was just like, wow, you wouldn't say that.
Yeah, like, you know, Reed Money sits there like a stunned mullet, not really responding, and I don't blame him. But he should be accountable. Like there has to be some accountability. Like even his selection of Kyle Flanagan on the bench, he's playing 8 or 9 minutes a game.
No, that's pointless. Yeah.
Right. Well,
either give him more minutes or just don't.
Or have a forward there, because if our forwards are struggling, then maybe have a 4th forward for rotation. Like there are just so many little problems that I think a more experienced coach would not be having. Right? I understand there were injuries. I understand that there were mitigating factors throughout the season, but the way that the team is not showing any pride, any passion, any respect for the team on the jersey, for me, we are the Canterbury bloody Bankstown Bulldogs. We have been one of the most successful teams in the NRL for a very long time.
Tell them.
What's being shown right now as a team is unacceptable. Either have pride in the jersey or just tell the coach you don't want to play. Tell the coach you're not ready to show pride in the jersey. Bring someone up from New South Wales Cup that will fight and bleed for the jersey. Because what we're seeing is unacceptable.
The Bulldogs breed.
Honestly, you know, we are spoiled fans. We are used to success, and we will not tolerate anything less. But for us to sit there for another 5 years and go through the bullshit and have to hear excuses for another 5 years, I'm sorry, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, you don't want to be going for a prolonged period without success, because then if you go for, like, for example, another 5 years of no success, you won't be averaging 20,000 crowds. They'll probably shrink to about 13 or 15,000.
If that.
Just from hypothetical figures. You won't be, how many members you guys got? 30,000 or something? Huge figures. That's pretty big. I'm sure if Canterbury was doing well, they'd have way higher. The fact that they're already getting 20+ thousand and they're sitting at the bottom with a few others at the bottom, not the bottom of the barrel.
And playing so shit.
They're averaging over 20,000. They've got about 30,000. Imagine this side is at the top. It would be like Penrith who, Parramatta who, Sydney Roosters who, Souths who. You know, you probably have the most members in the game.
Yeah. Like honestly, explain this to me, right?
Can I? Yeah. Look, sorry. Just pointing out, just on Canterbury, whether they needed a rookie coach. Look, personally, and I still think I still reckon he's got it in him to go well, although this year hasn't eventuated like that. I never expected it to eventuate this year where I placed them on the ladder. They're in a rebuilding phase. Unfortunately, They've been in a rebuilding phase for a while, but they did bring
7 years.
Yeah, and they brought that upon themselves because they went rookie coach, rookie coach, rookie coach. X. What they needed was, with the playing roster they got, they needed a hardened, experienced coach. And look, for example, you had Shane Flanagan, who was available, and they passed on him. You had Madge. He still would have been worth a go.
Madge is a great coach. I don't think Madge...
He's won a premiership, so he knows what it takes. There was a few other options. They've just X and gone rookie again, which was, with the sort of playing roster they got and where they are at, they needed an experienced, hardened coach. Someone like Serraldo might have been more suited to a table that was to a side that was more mid-table, like Cronulla. Craig Fitzgibbon with Cronulla.
Agreed.
They've got to establish a roster. That's where Cam would have come out, because he would have had an established, experienced squad that would have rubbed off on his energy. Where you got young boys or men who are coming into first grade, lack of that elite experience. They need an experienced hard head, not another rookie like them, basically.
Yeah,
because Cam, like the other, they've, off the back of the prem of success, they've obviously had a following. And that's, I just think that's where Canterbury might have erred. And I do think there's a lot of potential with Cam. I just think it's the wrong club, the wrong squad. Basically.
Well, hypothetically speaking, even to get rid of Cam Serraldo, which is not what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying let's get rid of Cameron Serraldo.
No, definitely not. We're just highlighting why the rebuild's going on for 7 years now.
Who do you bring
rookie coach, where you've had, I wouldn't even call Craig Tuvey a rookie because he's been in a grand final.
Jeff Tuvey.
Jeff Tuvey. Sorry, it's just all the head knocks. But anyway, Jeff Tuvey, Madge, don't worry about twos. Madge is Michael Maguire. You
had Shane Flanagan,
who St. George now have snapped up. So your arch rivals have snapped
You even had
them
Des Hasler.
Yeah, they don't want to go back to Des.
But they did. He was an option. He would have done a lot more.
I don't know why there's still ongoing bad blood. You know what? That 2012 side, I don't care. They should have won that grand final.
Look,
Melbourne just played the perfect half.
There's bad blood because we still haven't recovered. And you know what? People still think that it's just Des Hasler's fault. He was a big part to play, but our board back then ruined it for us as well.
They got ahead of themselves.
Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. That was not just Des Hasler's fault. And right now, I'm going to point the blame at Serraldo and Gus Gould.
Oh, of course. I'm sure they're not going to shy away. They obviously have to try to deflect as best as they can to alleviate the pressure. I think Gus is doing it the best he can to alleviate it away from his coach and away from his playing squad, because that's what he's there for.
Look, regardless of what he's trying to do as fans,
Bulldogs, Bulldogs.
Just to highlight how bad our forwards were against the Knights. Do you want to know who our top forward meter maker was?
Preston.
No.
Even though he spent time in the bin, no.
Guess.
Your forward meter maker.
Yeah.
Harrison Edwards.
Corey Waddell.
Wow, sign him up. 3-year extension. Let's go.
Look, with all due respect, he made the most meters for us and had the most runs. Yeah, Max King, 87 meters. Tavita Pangai Jr., 92 meters.
How much did Waddell get?
140 meters.
That's pretty good in a well-beaten side. The rest 100 and less, unacceptable.
Sorry, not one other forward broke the 100 meters.
I love watching his all. I love watching Tavita go. Rather play, but yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Some news today, but yeah, go on.
And yeah, breaking news. Apparently, Tavita Pangai Jr. has decided to retire from the NRL at the end of this year to take up a boxing career.
Yeah, look, first and foremost, someone's life doesn't obviously revolve around rugby. How old is he now? 27?
27, yeah.
He's in the prime. Obviously, he's probably found an alternative career path. There's a few before him that have blazed that path, but I'll give you an example with Anthony Mundine. You got to be a rare talent to cut it in the boxing world.
Agreed. I'm with you 100%.
I've heard a lot of good things about Tavita. And obviously, I've heard a lot of good things about a lot of guys that think they can box. Obviously, he's got to get in there and shut everyone's mouth. In the boxing game, it's one hit, you're out, especially in the heavyweights. But by all means, I've actually heard he can actually throw him. Look, it's a big gamble.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are the Bulldogs that bad that a player with the potential and talent like Tavita Pangai Jr. wants to leave rugby league altogether after being with us for a couple of years?
Look,
like Jackson did it last year.
Don't be hard on yourself.
Come on. As a fan watching that game against the Knights, you just look at that and say, what the shit? You just look at that and say, this cannot be real.
Look, I didn't tip Canterbury to win. I think I tipped them to lose 40-18. I'm going to be honest here. I didn't expect them to. Those first few tries just look what? They're letting them walk over on the inside. 40, what was it, 42-6? That was worse than I expected.
That was much worse than... I remember I sat here, put my neck on the line last week saying, there's no way we're going to lose. There's no way they're going to put 40 on us. There's no way this... I had faith in the team.
Yeah, you wouldn't let... I mean, you wouldn't let me and Jamie Burrow talk like, oh, that's it. We have to sit quiet.
Yeah.
Every time we mentioned that Newcastle was going to win.
And, you know, they turn around and they just, you know...
Look what he's did to him, boys.
It's
look, just on Tavita, no, it's not because Canterbury's been, you know, not doing well the last few years. The talk around him boxing's been around for about 3 years. It's not a last year occurrence or year before. It's been about 3 years roughly.
but you can't tell me that he's not fed up with what's happening at the Bulldogs.
Look, I'm just telling you, it's been tough for 3 years.
He's averaging 35 minutes a game. At the Broncos, he used to play 60, 70 minutes.
Look, I'll tell you now, he hasn't made this decision lightly. I mean, obviously there's many people in the know that know he can bang him. They know he can. It's all about the dollars as well. Okay. I know. Look, I know you're from a Canterbury point of view. Probably shouldn't be mentioning that to you right now, but it's a big risk he is taking. But I'll tell you now, he can make his career earnings in 1 year if it pulls out from him. It's a massive risk.
Best
but
of
there
luck
is a
to him.
fallback option, obviously. If it doesn't work out for him, he can either fall back and play for the Super League or come back and sign for the West Tigers.
Or the Dragons.
Look, come on, man. You know.
But I mean, even if you look at like our missed tackles, it's just ridiculous that only two players in the whole team didn't miss a tackle, right? Luke Thompson, 8 missed tackles.
Yeah, he was off the pace.
Reid Marnie, 6 missed tackles. You know, Kikau, 3 missed tackles. Burden, 4 missed tackles. Adokar, 4 missed tackles. Burns, 5 missed tackles. I mean, what are they doing?
Well, you know what? Now that Taveta's gone, jeez. Anyway,
Payne Haas has re-signed for the Broncos.
Yeah, he just opens up. He's got a nice chunk on the salary cap, but who's it to spend it on?
But that's the problem. Who wants to come to a team that can't, that has no pride, that shows no passion for them, for each other?
You got a few options. A few here in Australia. I think maybe I'll keep mentioning Jordan McLean. He's a good experienced head. He's still in the peak of his powers. And then you know what? There's some good British props up there.
Look, I agree.
I'll tell you now, like St. Helens, who knocked off Penrith, and St. Helens won 4 in a row grand finals there, and they knocked off Penrith in the World Club Challenge, and they were undefeated here in Australia at the start of the year, if you recall.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I'm sure Canterbury can entice easily a few forwards. I mean, they've had a few British forwards over the years from St. Helens. Luke Thompson, when he's fit, is an absolute banger. You had Bulldog, James Graham. He came from St. Helens. And there's a few other clubs there. They've got some big burly forwards. Wigan's another one.
I just don't know what the path forward is. Like at this point, as a Bulldogs fan, it's like, well, what happens from here? You know, like I'm trying to think of some positives from the Knights game, and really the only positive I can think of is that, you know, we can't bullshit our way into believing we're better than we actually are anymore.
No, it's laid out. I think I've been trying to tell you that for the last 6 months.
No, you haven't.
Or last 6 years, sorry.
You know, the game's shown exactly how bad we are, and even though we're above the Tigers on the ladder, it's actually showing quite clearly that they've got more grit and determination than we do. The team's just not playing for each other.
And people forget the Tigers were 0-8 at the start of the year. So
yeah, look.
Yeah.
And you know,
they've lost quite a bit of fair, close games.
And they've been dudded a few times.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Canterbury has as well, but
let's not mention that the stupid officiating on the weekend. There was some really poor calls there. Some really poor. It's not an excuse, and we didn't lose because of the poor calls, but it's just again and again and again, the teams that just don't have a chance to make, they always get dudded. They always seem to get dudded. Your team, the Dragons, get dudded.
Oh, look, I'll be fair. Look, they didn't deserve to win. And South, I know South were way below par, but obviously South was still the better side. It was a close game. Somehow the scoreline said it was a close game. But there was that one incident, I think Cody Walker's I think he kicks it here and Cody's standing there. And the bunker goes towards the try, and then the replay comes up later, and he's blatantly offside. I'm thinking, yep, it looks like the NRL drove past icebergs, grabbed about 20 people randomly from there, drew a lottery, chose 3 winners, got them to draw straws, and go, yep, you're going in the bunker. Now, look, I'll just point out something. I don't know why they persevere with. I don't care. I'm going to mention a name, Casey Badger.
Yeah, I'm with you.
She reffed the women's game on the weekend. I was watching St. George vs Canberra, for example. So this is how she does not understand rugby league. I don't care if you take this clip, but on the replay, the Canberra player kicks twice at the ball for the St. George player. She's playing the ball. So explain to me how the ball comes out of her hand and flies forward. If Casey Badger understands the game and paying attention to the game, she will know the ball hasn't gone flying forward on its own accord. It's a knock on. St. George were in a position there to win the game. It was 18-all. If she rightfully blows a penalty, I'm sure Canberra can challenge if they want, right? But yeah, St. George didn't challenge. But beside that, how do you go and then call a knock on when the ball's flying like that? How else does the ball get propelled forward? Well, did the St. George player all of a sudden toss it or kick it?
Yeah.
Just to show you how she does not understand the game. And she's been involved in a few clangers in the video ref in the last month. Some absolute clangers. Just shows you how NRL just doesn't know how to make the tough call. I wouldn't even call it a tough call. It's an easy call. She shouldn't be in there. Maybe send her back to the reserves or even local footy to learn the game more. And it just doesn't go for her. There's a lot of refs out there. And what's the problem here? Are we short on officials? Are we short on refereeing talent? Because I'll go on weekend footy and I'll see a lot of guys there, 18, 19, in their 20s. And their refereeing is fantastic. So how come these guys, is it all nepotism with the NRL? It's who you know? Is it because her husband used to be a first-grade referee that she's there? I'm just giving examples. It seems like it's nepotism.
Look, there's no real... there's no excuses again. Like we started the year with great footy, and then the refereeing has just become worse and worse week on week, and it's not getting any better. And I reckon finals are going to be decided by poor calls, and there are teams that are going to be dudded out of grand final and semi-final positions because we just can't seem to get the officiating, the wording, the calls. We just can't seem to get them right, and we're a multi-billion-dollar game. Surely we can fix the officiating.
A lot of the officials don't know, right? They don't understand the game. Like to sit there and call a knock on the ball's flying out that way towards the.
I mean, Leo Thompson.
Common sense dictates, hey, somebody's. And if you watch the replay, the Canberra players blatantly kicked at it twice. She cost them a victory. They would have had 2 in front of the game and sticks with a few minutes ago. I mean, pretty much won it.
Even against the Knights and Doggies, Jacob Preston wasn't awarded a try where, there could have been an argument for it. And Nari Tuala was given the try.
They didn't even look at Preston.
In the second half, same situation as Jacob Preston, but for a Knights player, Leo Thompson, the try is awarded.
They spent about 10 years looking at it.
It does. It just. It's. I don't know. It's not.
They're going to really clean out a lot of those officials next.
You just like with your team performing badly, any small indecision can hurt your team.
There is that many refs in junior footy. I'm sure the NRL, if they run a grassroots program and gave a lot of these guys a chance of refereeing 20s, that they would then graduate to. But it's not. It's like they've closed the window. It's like it's all nepotism.
Yeah,
it's like, for example, you go to the Canterbury district. The NRL will go, choose one of your favourites, send him up to us. It's all nepotism. I'm telling you, I went and watched some junior finals on the weekend. Am I allowed to commentate on this?
Of course you are.
So the game I went and watched was the undefeated Bankstown Sports 10s Division 1 versus the second place Bankstown Bulls. And in a stirring victory, the Bankstown Bulls knocked over the Bankstown Sports. And what a game it was. I'll tell you what, high quality. For 10-year-olds, absolutely stunned. They were doing... I saw a run around in that game. I saw cutout passes. I saw phase plays.
When was the last time the Doggies did a run around in first grade?
I don't know. I mean, look, I'll just tell you now. And you know what? These kids were putting up bombs. Like, there's a kid on the wing for Bankstown Bulls. I've nicknamed him Nightingale. He's miniature. He hits like a bag of cement hitting someone. There was a kid twice his size ran and just clobbered him. Little Zach, and they got a nice, there's a golden bear that plays on that side.
Yeah.
In the Bulls, and they got little Issa, and then they got a nice, look, the Bulls halfback plays like he's a 20-year-old, basically. Wow. He's throwing cutouts, he's calling plays. For 10-year-olds, he's got this play called Watermelon. Anyway, I'm sure Bankstown Sports will bounce back this week and knock over Moorebank 60-0. So that's how angry they are.
Look, I want to change up the tempo a little bit.
I had to change up the tempo. I watched other games as well, and I'll tell you what, wow, I love finals footy. It's junior comp. I love it.
I want to talk about a good memory against the Knights, Bulldogs against the Knights, and you probably recall this game.
Tasm.
In 2002, when the Bulldogs were playing for 16 in a row, and with 1 minute to go, the Bulldogs were losing 21-16, and then Luke Patton scores a try in the right wing, and this moment, it typifies for me as a young kid, I was 13, 14 growing up, loving the Bulldogs. It typifies for me what the Bulldogs stood for, right? There was talent aggression, tenacity, grit, determination, never giving up. Absolutely wanting to give your all, even in the last minute. And that try by Luke Patton, there was so much pressure to get that try, and Luke Patton scores in the wing. But then enter Hazem Masri, right? 21-20, 80th minute conversion from the sideline, right? All the pressure in the world, 16 in a row at that point was unprecedented. No team had ever gone that long with a winning streak. Sure, it was a salary cap scandal.
What was their winning streak that year? 17?
It was 17.
Oh, they fell just short.
Yeah. So it was 17, and then the scandal obviously happened, and we got docked the points.
Melbourne, was it? Or Canberra? It was one of those sides.
It was. Honestly, I
hate those sides. They always seem to win when no one.
I don't recall, but we that game.
It was after the siren too.
It was after the siren, and then Hazem Masri comes in.
I watched that.
Poise, determination, absolute calm in a sea of 25,000 raving, screaming Newcastle Knights fans.
1 millimeter in from the sideline, so not 1 meter, 1 millimeter.
Honestly,
in.
right on the white, like on the line. He was kicking it from there, and you can hear Ray Warren commentating, talking about the pressure, and it was just such a moment.
It has got there.
It's just one of those moments that I think current Bulldogs players would do well to watch again and again and again.
Can I point out? Is that the most clutch goal kick of all time? It has to be the most clutch goal kick, not drop out attempt, as what Latrell or Nathan Cleary have done. But to win a game, is that the most clutch kick of all time? It has to be. I don't think I've seen to win it. I don't think I've seen a more clutch kick than that.
Yeah, it's one of the most clutch kicks.
It's after the siren.
Yeah,
it's to continue the streak. Hostile crowd against the premiers. Remember,
Newcastle they were the premiers. That's right, they were the premiers. I get Ting was just thinking about.
It's the most clutch kick for me anyway. And just speaking on good Canterbury memories, look, one that stands out for me and imprinted in my mind is that champion Bulldogs forward pack. But it's that 2006 game I talked about earlier. Do yourselves a favour, watch Canterbury that day. They brutalised an opposition that had test forwards in there and state of origin representatives in there. Absolutely brutalised them.
And that was the mark of the Bulldogs. Our forward pack would brutalise other teams, and then our backs would just run ragged over the teams because they were brutalised. We were attacking. Our defence was just impenetrable. There was just so many.
I just want to run off the names. Like, you can chuck Steve. I want to include Steve Price in there because I think he spanned 2 eras basically for Canterbury.
That's right. Yeah.
Steve Price, Sonny Bill, Willie Mason, Mark O'Mealy, Roy Asatasi, Reini Matua. Like, you obviously then throw in Nate Miles, Andrew Ryan.
Mark O'Mealy.
I already said O'Mealy.
Oh, did you?
Andrew Ryan. And then, you got Tony Grimaldi as well. Did he play? He played in that grand final,
Yeah.
And it's funny. People forget Grimaldi was in that side, and you forget that there's Adam Perry and Corey Hughes. Like, and it's Adam Perry and Corey Hughes could have played halfback. I think they did early in their career.
So yeah, they did. Corey Hughes did fill in for halfback when Sherwin was injured. But then even in the 2000, like in the early 2010s, you look at the 2012, 2014 teams. Don't discount like the forwards we had: David Clemmer, James Graham, Frank Pritchard, Sam Cassiano, Josh Jackson, Dale Finucane, Nate Miles.
Another good bunch.
We had such a great production line of forwards, and that's what the Bulldogs have always been built on. Great forwards.
Isn't Willie-O involved in your club at the moment?
Who's Willie-O?
Willie Mason.
Yeah, Willie is involved. So is Mark O'Mealy. So is Brent Sherwin.
What's their role? Because you might as well just throw 41-year-old or 42 or 43-year-old Willie out there because I saw him a few months ago.
He'll do a lot better than
and he's still in great shape.
Yeah, he'll do a lot better than the current crop.
But I'm sure you do your 150 metres a game. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, neither am I. You could throw any number of.
Doesn't
players.
he get into the ears of the players at training and all that?
I mean, he's supposed to be there as a forwards coach, I think, or a defensive coach, or whatever.
I think the problem's there in the forwards coach.
Look, I don't know what the answer is, and again. They should go back and watch some of those absolute brilliant moments from Bulldogs history. Even go back to the 80s of, the entertainers and the 90s with Terry Lamb. And, there's so much history and so much...
they need that mongrel back first and foremost.
You don't get it by being sterile, by sanitizing from your history. You need to have a lot of that history brought in and built into the players. And I just don't think some of these players really, maybe Seraldo hasn't done a good enough job in I don't know. Honestly, as a fan, it's just like, it's really disappointing, because what we want to see is that mongrel. We want to see the forwards getting in there and just giving their absolute all, game after game after game. You know, apparently they've got really intense training. Maybe they're too tired when it comes to the games. Maybe it's too intense. Yeah. Who knows? You know, even Fatala-Marinis was complaining about it. Maybe he has a point. Maybe he is correct. Maybe the processes do need to be looked at. And, you know, you look at the team name today, we're going to take on the Raiders next Sunday, and I think I don't really care about the team, because regardless of
he's got the Raiders.
Yeah, we've got the Raiders, and regardless of who we name, there's no pride in the jersey.
That's in Canberra, eh?
Yeah, it is in Canberra.
Oh, gee whiz.
We're going to get another quick score put on us.
Canberra need a win to make sure they make
They got smashed by the Melbourne. Do you think
they're starting to slide down the ladder?
They're going to come back. They're going to try.
They're going to need this win.
Well, they're minus 120 in for and against. They're going to use the Bulldogs to fix that for and against.
No. Look, their for and against will not catch up to the rest. Their main concern now is competition points to make the 8. They need that 2 points. As like Newcastle game last week, they got everything to play for. Canberra does. And obviously you guys, I don't know how he's motivate will get up for it, basically.
Well, if they didn't show pride against the Knights, there's no motivation to show pride against the Raiders, because we've seen that they don't care. Like, honestly, from a fan perspective, that's what it looks like. They just don't care. And if they couldn't get up for the Knights game after a bye, they had 15 days to prepare. I don't see how they're going to get up for the Raiders game. Really, I don't. I just think they're going to go through the motions, get 60 put on them, and go home.
I'll tell you what. I know what's going to happen now. Phil Good's going to see this podcast. He's going to make 23 tapes. He's going to give it to every single one of the players, plus the coaching staff, and make sure they watch it on the ride there and also in their hotel room. Well done, Elmo.
Oh, look, as a fan, as someone who obviously, I care enough about the team and about the game that, we hear every week talking about it, connecting with fans. And I love doing this, and I love talking about my team. But when your team offers no resistance, offers no pride and respect in their jersey, right? It's like, well, you know what? See you later. If that's the type of attitude that you're going to show against a team that absolutely destroyed you not 6 weeks ago, then you shouldn't have this jersey on, because you're not worthy of this jersey. I'm sorry, but the team is bigger than the players. Cameron Seraldo, Gus Gould. The team is more important. And if these guys are coming in there for a payday and not there to play for the team and play and put pride in the jersey, goodbye. That's honestly my opinion. Because honestly, like, not much has changed for the Raiders game, except, instead of TPJ starting, they've got Liam Knight starting, right? And Jacob Preston's out. They've got Corey Waddell starting in the second row. Our bench is Kyle Flanagan. Again, I have no idea why he keeps choosing him there. We've got Luke Thompson, Raymond Faitala-Mariner, who's back, and Tavita Pangai Jr. That's our bench. I don't see, honestly, 3 out of the 4, I think, are just not going to be able to provide for us. I don't think Flanagan, Thompson, or Mariner can do much for us coming off the bench. Thompson is a great player, but he's just too fresh from a long-term injury. Raymond Faitala-Mariner clearly doesn't want to be there. And Flanagan's been getting 9 minutes a game. And Tavita's only been playing 30 on average. So what is he hoping to achieve from this bench? Like, it's he's got Ryan Sutton starting at lock, which, okay, it's not a bad move, but he could have kept Harrison Edwards there, for example. Put Sutton on the bench, get rid of Flanagan. There's just basic things that, as fans, we think, what the heck is going on? Franklin Pele still can't get a run. That's it. He's gone.
I think he's going to England, isn't
he? He is. He's gone. But what happened there? What happened there? Sam Hughes,
I think Canterbury's starting to become the new graveyard for footy careers.
It is the graveyard. It's not the new graveyard. It is the graveyard for careers.
God.
The only thing I'm really looking forward to is I just want to see
I think Phil's going to get this printed on platinum edition.
No, well, I'm sorry, but you look at our history over the last 4 to 5 years. Okay, you can be bad, but not this bad. Like, we are just, there's average, bad, very bad, and then you have the Bulldogs right down the bottom. That's where we are at the moment.
It's a long year.
It's been a very long year.
2 more weeks to go after this.
And even with the signings that we've got for 2024.
There's no wow factor yet.
No, but
you got Crichton. All right. What about your forwards? You want forwards?
You know, I said
With wow
a few weeks
factor.
ago, maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel. Now I'm looking, there's no light on the horizon at all. There's
There
no
was no
hope.
Fafita, no Famasali, no Fodawaker, no Haas, who signed with
You know,
Brisbane for
Thompson-
$10.7 million.
Are we re-signing Thompson? Are we re-signing Waddell? Are we re-signing Flanagan? I don't understand. Like, what is going to happen?
He's going to have the same squad almost.
Which, you know, which doesn't bode well for the Bulldogs at all.
Right, yeah.
Right? Okay, with the addition of Blake Taff, Jamin Salmon, and
Where's your forwards?
and Stephen Crichton. But exactly, we're going to have the same problems we have this year.
You
Is
need your
no
front
go
rows,
forward,
yeah.
no aggression, no tenacity,
Jeez.
no resilience. Right? Maybe Kikau might improve with an off season and maybe no injuries, but he's only one player. Sure, he can add something to the team, but
Any big boppers from any big bopper Polynesians that you guys can snare from New Zealand? That would just slot straight into first grade and be battering around from the get go.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Ryan Sutton's also like, are we resigning him? Is he going?
No, he's gone.
You know, Raymond Fatala-Marin, like, it's just, what does our forward pack
He's
look like
getting
next
a
year?
5-year extension. But anyway, apparently you had some breaking news or something earlier, or some inside, or no?
About
I don't know. I think you said you had some exclusive scoop. No,
no exclusive
Oh,
scoops,
right.
unfortunately.
damn, you couldn't supersede Buzz on this, even with a made up rumor, as Buzz normally does.
Yeah, apparently the Dogs are signing both Haas and Tino for $1.2 million a year starting next week against the Raiders.
Apparently, according to Buzz, Marky's words. Yeah, well, I already forgot his name. What's that player that was at St. George now is going to West Tigers? He's our half and I forgot his name.
Jaden Sullivan.
Jaden. Yeah, apparently Mark Buzz's words is feeding the scrums for Canterbury next year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's about it.
I
So how's everyone taking the Payne Haas a $10.7 million contract
Look, I think it's
per
a good
season?
Honestly, I think it's a good thing. I've always said that he came up at the Broncos. He made his name at the Broncos. He's performed for the Broncos. And I'd like to see him stay there.
Has it been revealed what his clauses are or anything in regards to that signature? I've got a feeling he hasn't signed on as much as what everyone expects him to. And I've got a feeling, seeing that I think Tavita and Pangai and him got the same manager and Tavita's going to fight. I've got a feeling they've included in the clause to Brisbane that Payne fights once or twice in the off-season just to supplement his income. And I'll guarantee that will be a rubber stamp by the NRL because in previous years they've actually affiliated themselves with boxing and boxing events.
Yeah.
And that basically stems back to having a proud history in recent times of footy players becoming boxers. Just to name a few, obviously Anthony Mundine sits on the top of the mountain there in regards to former footy players that have gone on. If you go back further throughout the time, there was Billy Johnston, former Canterbury player who could have, I think he qualified for the Olympics or could have if he chose to. It was I think he's had an undefeated career, 12 or 13 fights. I know Jeff Fennick played lower grades for Parramatta before he went on to be a bantamweight boxer. And then if you go look, you had John Hopewadi who won the Australian heavyweight title. We've had Solomon Hamono as well. We've had Garth Wood who won one fight over Anthony. I'm telling you what, there's been no shortage of, and there's many more, from over the years that went on to have somewhat of a decent boxing career. So I wouldn't be surprised if Payne, if he's got one or two fights in the off season.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think good on him for re-signing with the Broncos. I to be honest, even Tino and Fafita re-signing with the Titans.
I had a private cry when no one was looking when they all re-signed for their clubs. I was hoping we'd snare one of them down at St. George because if you look at it, St. George is pretty much in the same boat as Canterbury. All right, they've signed Jaime Sele in the front row, but who else have they signed?
I mean, look.
Every time I look at Blake Laurie now, I look more at him and start thinking, based on around the squad we got around him, he's more like a test front row all of a sudden.
He's doing really well, honestly.
I'm just saying, for the forwards we got at our disposal,
it looks like
we're very thin. Like we've only signed Jaime Sele. They've spoken to Luke Thompson, but
the Tigers are also now speaking to Luke Thompson as well.
There you go. And then there was 4 forwards who were available to sign or Origin or better, and not one of them was signed to another club. Like, who does St. George go for next? Who else is available? Anyone?
I don't.
At this rate, I really do hope St. George signed Jordan McLean from North Queensland.
But I mean, you can't tell me you're not happy that they've stayed with their clubs. I am. For one, I'm happy that.
Oh, of course. I'm happy they got great deals on this. I'm just saying from certain clubs looking. Yeah, they got all that cap space.
I'm with you.
They got all that cap space, and Gold Coast went and spent a mint, like literally huge dollars on forwards. And you look at their halves. What's so crash high about their halves?
Then Tanner Boyd and Foreign. I don't know, but I mean they've got this next year.
Yeah, I know, but he's going to need a half to. He's got the forward power, but what's Tanner Boyd going to do?
I mean, they do better than what the
I mean,
Doggies are
Kieran
doing,
Foran's
trust
at
me.
the end of his career. What's a 34, 35-year-old Kieran that's had a fair share of injuries?
I wouldn't worry about Desi Hasler. Desi Hasler's always got a
I
plan.
just saw someone they got a tight salary cap. How do they manage to retain? Where other clubs got money to throw, couldn't entice.
I mean,
anyway.
like next week we got the Raiders, right? Can you imagine what someone like Matt Timoko is going to do to the Bulldogs? He's going to tear us apart. He's going to score 5.
Who's he up against?
He's up against Braden Burns.
I think Burns will do well.
I think he's going to tear us. He's going to score 5.
He was ordinary against Melbourne.
Everyone was ordinary against Melbourne. He tried his hardest.
Oh, actually, hang on a sec. St. George got Melbourne this week. Yes. Z, mate, don't think your side's going to win this week. Anyway.
And then, their forward pack, Papali'i, Tapane, Young, Whitehead, Horsburgh, mate, they're going to run. They're going to double the meters that the Bulldogs make. We have absolutely no chance.
Who's Penrith got this week?
I'm talking about the Dogs and the Raiders.
I'm just curious
Let me
how this invincible Penrith side is looking a few weeks out. Like it's like they're all like in cotton wool. They're going to absolutely
They're playing
unleash
the Titans.
Titans missing their forwards.
They're missing everybody, the Titans.
So look, Penrith are still in cotton wool. By the time they get to the finals, oh God!
I mean, they're debuting a new number 7 in Tom Weaver because Tanner Boyd's injured. They've got the young Keno Kinney at fullback because Jaden Campbell's playing at 6.
What a player!
Because AJ Brimson's injured.
What a player that Campbell's.
Absolutely. But Tino's playing at lock. They've got Fafita, Jamin Jolliffe, Moaki, Fodawaker's playing.
Oh, Fodawaker's back.
Yeah,
what
Fodawaker's back.
Ooh, I couldn't sign him. Sadly.
So we've got,
Anyways, for the rest of the year and for the finals, Elmo said he's going to be focusing on Canterbury reserve grade.
Nah,
Or let's get behind them.
Man, they've lost 4 in a row now.
No,
Yeah.
they'll make the finals though.
They're in the top 4.
They'll get their place back from first grade.
Well, I mean, even if they did, look at the players that are playing there now. They're losing.
But once the first graders come back,
No, they've come. A lot of them are playing. They've got Rajab, they've got Morin, they've got all the players that played Alamoti, Hayes Perham, all these players that are playing.
What's
Yeah,
going on? They were running
the whole team's just shit itself. I'm telling you, the whole team's just gone.
So the whole club.
The whole club, I think they just came to a season where people got a tap on the shoulder and told, "Look, you're gone next year. You're not here." And everyone's just said, "All right, well, you know what? Sack. If I'm not gonna be here next year, I'm gonna cruise through to the end of the year."
Oh God, I think Finch and Carl are gonna have a meltdown now.
And
already after the 20 they've had this year.
I refuse to give a tip on this game. Honestly, I refuse. I put my neck out on the line last week saying the Dogs are going to do better. They're going to, show some pride. They're going to show some, and they showed nothing. They were embarrassing for every Bulldogs fan because you know what? Every Bulldogs fan now hates the Knights because all we wanted was some pride. Win by 1 point, win by golden point. Bro, lose. That's okay, but show pride. There was nothing shown, and I think the same thing can happen against the Raiders. So I refuse to give a tip. I just hope that we don't get
Canberra
embarrassed.
by 32.
I just hope we don't get embarrassed. That's my tip. I just hope we don't get embarrassed. That's all I want. That's it. But I don't have much hope, to be honest. I think we will be embarrassed. But that's not a tip. That's just what my gut feeling is.
Oh God.
Yep. Look, if you've made it through this very long podcast, which turned into a massive rant, thank you for sticking through. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. Like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your mates, share it with anyone that likes watching rugby league and who's fed up with his team losing. Once again, I'd like to thank you, Dibbo, for joining and for your
pleasure being involved in just watching you have mental anguish.
Blowing your top.
Fans you just make my day. Nobody even remembers my side thanks to you guys. Thank God.
And look, to be honest, I know this may sound a bit of a stretch, but I feel like I am speaking on behalf of a lot of fans. If you see all the engagement we have on social media, all the engagement that we have across our channels and on the kennel.net.au, I'm honestly echoing the sentiment that almost every single Bulldogs fan is relaying to us. And people are even a lot harsher than I am, saying that Gus and Seraldo aren't the men for the job. They can't get it done, and we shouldn't be trusting our team in their hands. I'm not going to go that far, but I'm going to say that, next year, right, they don't have a whole season to prove themselves.
They got to prove themselves on round 1.
The fans will not put up with it. The Bulldogs fans you'll just see fans abandoning the team. That's the truth. Fans are already starting to abandon the team. After that display against the Knights, I don't blame fans for abandoning the team. I cannot and will not get over that. And I say again, it does not bode well for what's going to happen to us in Canberra, right? But you know, the team, the coach, the training staff, everyone, they have to start showing something and pulling their fingers out, because the fans over the long, fans have very long memories. Fans have very, very long memories, and they will start abandoning the Bulldogs in droves, and that's not a good sight, as you said. But if we start winning, they're very quick to come back on the wagon. So
all it takes is one win, and they're back on the bandwagon.
So we've got a team with potential.
Win.
Just respect. Just
like
pride.
The Mighty Ducks.
Pride and respect. That's all we want. Pride and respect. We're not asking the team to go out there and be top four. Just don't embarrass us as fans. That's all we're asking.
I think you guys need Coach Riley from the Mighty Ducks of the Hawks. Win.
And with that, I want to thank you guys once again for making it towards the end of the podcast. Look, he's hoping the Bulldogs do show some pride and some respect in the jersey against the Raiders. I won't be holding my breath, but we'll be here again next week to dissect the game, to understand what went wrong, and to hopefully look forward towards a more positive 2024.
And shed more tears.
Yeah. Good luck to whoever you support. Have a great week.
Adios.